Good morning, gang. Happy Wednesday. And this time it's actually Wednesday because I recorded that other video and it got posted last night. So the other one that I was working on, I've been working on this one for a couple of days because I've noticed that we seem to have quite a few new faces in the family here, which is great because that means more people are coming around to I need to do something because I don't know what's going to happen, especially with all these talks of, potential lockdowns and, God knows what's going on in the world. The world's a crazy place right now. We all know it. So, a lot of us are very experienced preppers. You could rate yourself on a scale of, 1 to 5, 1 being the guy who woke up this morning and said, you know what, I need to do something. And 5 being the person who has the bunker in the backyard, all sorts. Personally, if I had to put myself in a ranking, I'd probably say I'm about a 4. Okay. I've got pretty much everything well taken care of. There's a few holes that I'm still working on. We've talked about those, but those are pretty advanced level stuff that I'm getting to. And what I want to talk about here this morning is those of you that are 1s and maybe even 2s, okay? And for those of us that are more seasoned, maybe this is a chance to go back and go, you know what? Maybe I need to go look at that. Because, one of the things Mrs. P and I did this weekend, it was kind of interesting, this past weekend, was go through all our supplies and see what we've used, okay? It's like, oh, shit, we're a little short on something here. Because like any good prepper, you've got to rotate what you have because everything has a life expectancy. Your food eventually expires, tapes dry out, whatever it would be, anything that you have. So what I wanted to kind of go through here this morning was give you guys some tips, some beginner mistakes that I remember making. I bet a lot of you have, but, if you guys that are new can learn from us that these are mistakes that you don't want to make, it'll save you time and more importantly, save you money. Because I hate to tell you this, guys, prepping ain't cheap. Okay. It's not super expensive, but you're not going to go, hey, gee, here's an extra $100. I'm going to go prep. Okay. So, all right. So some tips that you want to avoid, or just some tips and mistakes, I guess, that you want to avoid. Okay. Starting off, don't buy these off-the-shelf, here's everything you need, here's a complete bug-out bag, or whatever it is, or, here, buy this box, this is all the meals that you need for a family for a month, okay? That's crap, all right? Yeah, having, dehydrated foods and stuff like that is good for long-term, but if you've ever opened up one of those things and look and say, oh, this is what's supposed to be a meal, and you go, okay, I got, a little bit of eggs about this much, and that's supposed to be a meal, okay? And I say this because, go pull a can of green beans out or a box of macaroni and cheese out of your pantry, and the box of macaroni and cheese will say serving size, servings per container, 4. Okay, right. Okay, you're going to feed a family of 4 lunch on 1 box of macaroni and cheese. That's going to happen, okay? So, you're a lot better off building your preps piece by piece than you are buying entire kits, because you'll find these entire kits have a bunch of useless stuff in them. Oh, here's a first aid kit. It's like, oh, look, I got a first aid kit. I'm all set. You open the thing up, it's got 3 bandages and a couple aspirin in it. That's a first aid kit. And you just paid $14 for it. Okay. Which you could have gone and probably spent 30 cents in the dollar store for them. Okay. So that's the first thing. Okay. Do this piece by piece. It's going to save you a lot of money. All right. Second, you're never going to be able to predict what kind of emergency we have. Now, right now, we got a decent idea that a lockdown is probably the most probable that we're going to have. Okay. But you don't know. Okay. I mean, like I said, those of you who've been around with me for a while know the woods could catch on fire. Poof, they do. Okay. That's a lot more, of an SHTF situation for me than a lockdown coming, okay? Earthquakes, somebody mentioned in a live stream last night, Yellowstone, whatever it would be. You don't know what type of emergency you're going to get, so you're best off preparing for all of them, okay? And that's kind of why the channel is prepared for anything, okay? Because it could be something as simple as you lost your job and what are we going to do, to worldwide anarchy, who knows? So, if you try to prepare for everything, if you prepare for the worst, anything less you're ready for, okay? Next thing, please, please, please do not let this overwhelm you. Yes, it is a lifestyle, but it is not your life, okay? Like I said, prepping's a lifestyle. You will find yourself thinking about this an awful lot. Okay, I've got to do this. You'll be in a store and you go, how can I use that? Before you throw something out, you go, can I repurpose this somehow? Okay. But the big thing is this. Remember, and I say this to everybody, please do not let this consume you. You have to remember to live your life now. You cannot fall into being one of these people who all they do is watch prepper videos all day long, listen to so many channels out there, or read articles that are all gloom and doom and everything like that. You'll wind up finding yourself in a huge depression, okay? Live your life now. I said in the live stream last night, 1 hour a day. Try to set yourself to 1 hour a day of working on your preps. That's it. The other 23 hours, do your job, spend time with the kids, watch TV, whatever it's going to be. Enjoy the life while you've got it, because none of us are promised tomorrow. Okay. And again, that goes into, follow up on that. Be careful where you get your information from. Okay. There are a lot of good channels, and you will learn very quickly which ones are the good ones and which ones are the fear-mongering channels that are just out to try to make money off of YouTube. Okay, it's pretty obvious pretty quick. And if you start asking other members in the community, they're going to tell you, who the money grubbers are, who the arrogant ones are, who the thieves are, who the child molesters are. You'll find out real quick. All right. So, stick to the good channels, and you'll get valuable information that you can actually use. All right. So, question came up last night. I'm new to this. Where do I start? Okay. And like I've said over and over and over again, food, water, and shelter. Okay. That's the very first thing you need to get. But how much? Now, I'll start with water. Water is something that there's all sorts of different comments on, okay? The Red Cross says 1 gallon of water a day. 1 gallon of water a day is drinking water, okay? That's what you're going to need per person, okay? That's drinking water. That doesn't include cooking. That doesn't include bathing. That doesn't include flushing the toilet. That doesn't include brushing your teeth, okay? If you want to really get down to it, the average person, not including taking a shower, will use about 6 gallons of water a day, okay? So you're not going to be able to store that much because you have a family of 4. That means you need 24 gallons of water in every day. Multiply that times 7, and you got what, 164 gallons of water, okay, in a week. That's ridiculous to try to store that, okay? So, yes, you need to have some bottled water stored, either your 16-ounce bottles, or if you can get some of the cubes to store there, that's fine. But go to Walmart and get yourself a Sawyer Mini. It's about $15. Okay, that thing will filter out 100,000 gallons of water. I mean, you can filter it from a lake, from a pond, from a bucket that you collected rainwater, whatever. It'll make it drinkable. Okay, so that's where you start. Food. Next thing. Everybody asks me all the time, what's the minimum amount of food that we should have? Now, prudence says 1 year's worth of food. But some people say 1 to 2 years. Reason being is you're going to have to start being self-sustainable, which means gardening, hunting, fishing, trapping, whatever it would be. You have to get yourself through an entire year, because if you start gardening now, you're not going to grow a whole lot. It's August, okay? So you're going to be starting your growing in the spring. Well, that means you've got to have enough food that's going to get you all the way not only to spring, but until you can harvest, which is going to be about this time next summer. So you need that year's worth of food just before you can start replenishing what you had before. Okay. The average person eats 2,000 pounds of food a year. In an SHTF situation, you're probably going to eat more because you're going to need calories. The only way you're going to eat more is if you got more, okay? Starvation will be the number one killer in any sort of SHTF event. I've mentioned many times in many videos, go read the book 1 second after, okay? That will, if anything will open your eyes to prepping, that will do it, okay? And that'll tell you the biggest crisis they faced was food. Fire. Fire is an easy one, okay? Cheap to get. Go to the store, pick yourself up a few packs of matches, a few packs of Bic lighters, whatever, you're good, okay? Over time, you're going to be getting more. You'll learn how to make fire with the magnifying glass, with the ferro rod, anything of the sort. But at least for the start, to get you going today, get yourself a lighter. Fire is going to be your friend, because when winter rolls around and it's cold, you're going to need a way to heat something. You know, if there's no electricity or whatever, and you want to cook dinner, you don't feel like eating cold macaroni and cheese or cold rice, you're going to need a way to start a fire. Lights, and I'm not talking about overhead lights in your house. I'm talking about something that you're going to be able to use outside in the dark. Flashlights, get a good one, okay? An O-light, a mag light, anything like that are good. Solar lights, the little ones that you have outside, those are great. You can put them outside at night or during the day, bring them in the house at night and work, okay? You can find these little pop-up lanterns. You've seen those on TV. What is it? Bell and Howell sells the thing. Guy throws it in the back of a deuce and a half. You can find them at the Dollar General or whatever. They're about $5 a piece. Those things work great, okay? Keeping yourself warm. This is the other one I talked about. You know, keeping yourself cool. All right, not super tough. I mean, if you live out in the desert, you're just going to get out of the sun, okay? But keeping yourself warm is crucial. You're going to need extra blankets, a way to make fire again. I mean, if you got a fireplace or something, do not try to use your barbecue grill in the house or whatever to keep warm, or use the oven or something like that, okay? At that point, you're going to have to go outside and sit around fire. That's just the way it's going to be. A sleeping bag, because that will keep you warm. Shelter, all right? Now, chances are you're in your house, you're in your apartment, whatever, that's shelter. That's going to be pretty easy. But like I said, you don't know what's going to happen in regards to, gee, I got to leave all of a sudden. Like I said, woods catch on fire around here, I'm gone. All right, you got to have something that you make shelter out of. Yes, you could go buy a tent and whatever and spend yourself, $100, $200 on it or whatever, but I think of a lot better ways to spend that kind of money. Find yourself a big tarp. Go to Harbor Freight, whatever, $5 or $6, you can buy yourself a, 6x12 tarp or whatever, piece of paracord, tie it to a string, stake it to the ground, you make it down like that, run a tarp over it, you got something to keep the elements off you at night, okay? Medical supplies, this is going to be different for everybody. Have your prescriptions. Aspirin, Neosporin, bandages, gauze, anything like that that's going to be able to help you for any sort of minor injuries. Right now we're worried about the basics to get started, minor injuries, all right? We're not worried about tourniquets and all this sort of stuff that comes down the road. Hygiene, yeah, you're going to want to clean up. Baby wipes are great. You can't take a shower, can't take a bath, but you can wipe your pits and everything like that with some baby wipes, you're good. Communication, chances are you got your cell phone. Have a way to charge that if there's no power, like a little cell phone solar charger is going to work wonders for you. If the cell phone towers are out, maybe you go to Walmart and you get yourself some cheap walkie-talkies. Get the ones that are on CB bands so you can actually monitor emergency frequency, channel 9, or you can monitor the main frequency, channel 19. Power, batteries. All right, get some batteries, at least for like a radio, your flashlights, anything like you need. Okay, we're not talking about going out and getting solar generators to power your computer and everything like that yet. I mean, that's, if you're starting, you need the basics, okay? Tools, Hand tools, okay? An axe, a shovel, gloves. Definitely get yourself a good set of leather work gloves, okay? Have zip ties, duct tape, WD-40. You know, the old saying, if it moves and it's not supposed to, duct tape. If it's supposed to move and it doesn't, WD-40. If you got that, you're covered with everything, okay? With zip ties, a wrench, pliers, screwdrivers, hand tools, simple stuff like that. If you can, self-defense, but if you can, on certain things. Some states you're not allowed to own a firearm, okay? If you can, get one that you're comfortable using and get trained with it. Get yourself some sort of knife, okay? You're going to need a knife not only for self-defense, but for a lot of the stuff you're going to need to do. If you can't own a firearm, get a can of wasp spray. Stuff will fire about 30 feet. You spray that in somebody's face, they're not moving, okay? Get your documents in order, your passport, your driver's license, make copies of all of them, put them in a safe place, preferably in a folder where you can grab it and be gone in a heartbeat, all at once, okay? So you've got a backup to your important documents. Finally, your money, okay? Have some cash, all right? And I know everybody says, how much cash should I have? However much you think you're going to need, okay? I mean, some people, if they're living paycheck to paycheck and they can only afford $10 a week, put $10 in, okay? Some people can afford to put more. But what you're doing is you're doing a little bit of this every time. But everything that I just read off for you to start, you could probably get most all of that for a couple of $100, and that will at least get you the basics to get started, okay? But, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. Like I said, this is not a marathon, or this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. So, you know, please talk to everybody in the community. There's a ton of great people in this family that are more than willing to help, answer questions, be supportive, do whatever. My live stream, shoot me emails, make comments. I read all the comments. If you got questions, I will do the best I can to answer them in emails. I'm pretty good about getting back to everybody's emails within 24 hours, just because I don't like a cluttered up email box. So I will go through those stuff. But, you know, you made the first step, okay? Now, let's see if we can help you make the second step and third and everything like that. You know, you got to crawl before you can walk, and you got to walk before you can run. So go from there. All right, guys. This one, happy Wednesday. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Pinball out.